We spoke earlier to John Kirby. He is the National Security Council's coordinator for strategic communications. Admiral, good morning. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much, Vlad. Good to be with you.
What's the latest information you have to share with us?
Right now, we can confirm 11 Americans dead. We do believe, sadly, that number will probably go up. We'll obviously keep tracking that as closely as we can. We also know there's a number of Americans who are wounded. We probably don't have a full sense of exactly how many that is because not everybody is maybe seeking medical care. And we also know that there are a number of Americans that are unaccounted for, that their families have come forward and telling the State Department they don't know where they are. And so we're doing everything we can to try to find out what their whereabouts are, what their condition might be. Sadly, we have to accept the grim possibility that some of those Americans who are unaccounted for could be of those that are being held hostage by Hamas.
And that's the thing that's catching all of us. I watched you yesterday, Admiral Kirby, and I felt the same. After hearing heartbreaking story after heartbreaking story, it does get to you. And I saw you, too, get choked up. The sorrow is just incomprehensible to me. And when you talk about Americans possibly being held hostage, if that is the case, would the Biden administration consider letting American military work with Israeli military to get them out? Are those conversations even happening?
We are absolutely talking to Israeli officials about the hostage crisis and the hostage situation. We have offered assistance in the scope of experts, hostage recovery experts that we'd be willing to have coordinate with Israeli officials. I don't want to go beyond that right now. Obviously, the safety and security of American citizens overseas is a top priority for President Biden. You've seen us act as swiftly and efficiently as we can to get Americans home who have been held hostage overseas. We're not going to lose focus on this. But again, I can't confirm that Americans are actually among the hostages this morning. We're still trying to get more information about that.
We also know Benjamin Netanyahu has been very clear. The retaliation is just getting started. And we know that they have the right to defend themselves. We all get that. But is there a red line that the U.S. is saying, OK, we can't be with you on this particular point? We can't do this.
Right now, our focus is making sure that the Israeli Defense Forces have what they need to defend themselves and to take the offensive action that they believe they need to take. Now, look, I mean, nobody wants to see innocent civilians, any more innocent civilians, hurt on either side. And we always talk with our counterparts and our allies and partners about that. I mean, we believe that certainly while Israel has this right to defend itself, and we respect that, of course, we also know that Israel, like us, has shared values, shared interests, belief in the rule of law, and that we're stronger together when we observe that rule of law.
So, Admiral, what kind of conversations is the United States having with the Israelis about the status quo? Because clearly the status quo is not working. It's been 75 years. Is there a real solution that the United States is prepared to offer both sides of these parties to come to an end? Because I think for people in Gaza and the West Bank, for Israelis, it seems never ending. There are people that have been born into this conflict. So what is President Biden prepared to do to bring both parties to the table?
He remains prepared and remains committed to the idea, the promise of a two-state solution. He still believes that an independent state for Palestine and an independent state, obviously, for the Israeli people remains the best path forward for peace and security there in the Middle East. It's something that we've been working on since day one of this administration, and we'll keep doing that. Obviously, in these early hours after this dreadful, reprehensible set of terrorist attacks by Hamas, we want to make sure that the Israeli people know that we are supporting them, that they have this right to defend themselves, that they will get the security assistance that they need to do so. So in these early hours, that's really where our focus is. But that doesn't mean that we're abandoning the idea of a two-state solution.
All right, Admiral John Kirby, as always, we thank you, sir.
My pleasure.